This is Princess Pain, Book 1 of the Pain series, written by Michael D'Ambrosio and read by Rebecca Harris. Chapter 1. Just Another Job. The Stanton district, located 20 miles outside the palace area on the planet Yord, was once a bustling city with a massive transportation hub that supported spacecraft coming and going all day and night from across the galaxy. When the war broke out, due to the greed of several of the lords, the Human League of Kingdoms was broken into a hodgepodge group of thugs and militias. As a result, alien races shunned the once buzzing metropolis, and the loss of commerce transformed it into only a dying memory of what it once was. 30 years of neglect turned the once mighty kingdom of Yord into ruins. Many of its people fled the planet in search of more economically viable locations to avoid the scarcities of resources that ensued. Moonlight shone randomly through passing clouds, landing on a wet cobblestone street in Stanton. A wooden sign in front of a blacksmith's shop creaked in the evening breeze. A cloaked woman, Marina, hid in the doorway of a vacant shop as two men walked past her with pulse pistols in hand. When they disappeared from sight, she stepped into the street and removed her hood. Marina, at 30 years old, was tall with a long dreadlock wig and flash grenades shaped like silver balls attached to the locks. She crossed the street and approached the wooden door to an old warehouse. She knocked twice and waited. A long-haired, moustached man opened the door slightly and peeked out at her. He was dressed in black denim jeans and a white shirt, with a pulse pistol in his hand. "What do you want?" he asked impatiently, as he pointed his pistol in her face. "I have something for Balthus," she replied in a low monotone voice. The man stepped aside and allowed her to enter. As soon as she cleared the doorway, he closed and latched the door. Marina knew what was coming next. 2 torches provided the only light in the hall, and the flames left eerie shadows along the rutted walls. The wooden floor creaked as Marina stepped away from the man and stood by one of the torches. "You must be Marina," he remarked in mild surprise. "Balthus didn't think you'd make it." "I'm sure he was betting on it as well," she retorted. "Let's keep this brief, shall we?" The man didn't appreciate her sarcasm. "Any weapons you have need to come off now," he ordered. "Of course," Marina replied irritably as she removed her cloak. He was immediately distracted by her shapely form, well disposed in the tight leather bodice and pants. Marina took advantage of his lapse of attention and tossed the cloak to him. Instinctively, he dropped his guard and reached for it. As he did, she lunged and punched him in the bridge of his nose. Falling into unconsciousness from the blow, he slid down the wall into a sitting position with his head tilted down. Blood streamed from his nose, staining the front of his shirt. Marina took her cloak from him and folded it over her arm. She picked up the man's pistol off the floor and stepped lightly across the hall. An office door squeaked as she turned the knob and pushed it open. Inside the dilapidated chamber, behind a steel desk, sat a grossly obese man, Balthus, with a scraggly beard and a long, ugly scar across his left cheek. He wore a red plaid kilt, boots, and no shirt. On the desk was a cedar box. To his right, a pail of chicken legs and a pitcher of dark ale. A blonde harlot, Sonia, sat on his lap. She was very petite, middle-aged, and dressed scantily in a partially unbuttoned blouse and a tattered miniskirt. Without her bra, her perky breasts were quite visible, one through the blouse and the other displayed for Balthus's pleasure. The two gorged sloppily on the chicken, drenched in a spicy sauce that filled the air with its aroma. Sonia licked blotches of sauce off of Balthus's chin and savoured the taste with a lick of her lips. Marina pushed the door further and stepped inside. With the pistol hidden under the folded cloak on her arm, she noticed the moth-eaten carpet tossed over the wooden planked floor. The worn cloth extended from the door to about 4 feet short of Balthus's desk, which made her all the more suspicious. Candles on either end of the desk dimly lit the room.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?